Good morning, ABC Dryfirers. Welcome to the ABC Dryfire Dungeon. I am your host, ABC Dryfiring. This is a channel where we talk about dry firing, and today's subject, dry firing, specifically Dryfire Mag. Just ask about it, making a video, clear and safe gun, shut out barrel block for an added level of safety so that I can feel comfortable practicing in the comfort of my own home for absolutely free. Besides the cost of the gun and the barrel block and the JV training inserts and the magazines and the snap point dummy rounds and the belt, and the mag pouches, the targets, the timer. Yeah, I'm not sponsored by any of those companies. That's one thing you get about me. I have paid full price for I think everything to this point. I don't know that I've gotten a deal on anything. I was gonna shout out Blue Gatorade. I really like how it makes you thirstier every time you drink it. It does the body good, quench that thirst. Um, you're cool if you get that reference. And if not, you need help, go to Merdzik Transportation and give Uncle Rob a watch. Does the body good, quench that thirst. But this does not quench my thirst. It's just making me thirstier. But anywho, I will power on. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Um, Dryfire Mag. What is it not? It is not a tool that I think is valuable if you do not possess the technical skill to pull the trigger without disturbing the sights. Some people would argue that's a trigger pull thing. Some people would argue that's a grip thing. I have opinions on that argument. That's not what the video is about. This, whether you're squeezing the piss out of the gun and you have a 100% grip and a 75% trigger pull, or a 99% trigger pull and an 83 and 2/3 grip, like that, does the gun move as the striker leg disengages from the sear? Yes or no? Um, that's all I care about. This is not a good tool if you do not possess that skill. If the bullets do not go where the gun was when you decided to pull the trigger. Decide being the key word, because the bullet's going to go where the red dot or iron sights were when you pulled the trigger. But if you decide here and then the trigger gets pulled down there, the bullet's obviously going to go here, but you decided here. So if that's something you struggle with and you're trying to fix this issue, like, I don't really think this is a great tool. I think dang it, I didn't mean to throw it. This is a great tool. That was a trigger control at speed. I'll do it from the side here. Do it with one hand. So finger off the trigger guard. Use a par time. Use a timer, and on the beep, just mash the trigger. The trigger control at speed, and you can back that down. If you just have a terrible trigger pull, you might start. You can start on the wall and practice just hammering the wall. Then maybe just go to safety, trigger safety, or take up disengaged, and then go to just finger slightly off the trigger or just barely touching it somewhere in there, and then go to finger completely off the trigger, mash it. This doesn't help for that. Um, I don't think, because what it's just going to incline you to do, one, it doesn't match the trigger pull of the gun. And then two, you're just going to sit here and do this. And you're not going to take time to think about what a remedy is for the issue that you're facing. And so take a moment, press check, and be like, okay, it went low and left. Let me make sure the trigger is directly behind my fingernail. That's what I prefer. That may or may not work for everybody. Am I squeezing one hand? Do I need to do it one-handed? See, I got a little bit of gun movement there. Maybe I need to do some more one-hand shooting. It's hard to be visually focused looking at myself in the camera. I'm just so sexy. So I don't think it's helpful for that. It is helpful if you have a Glock that doesn't have a Timney or performance trigger or any other variety of trigger. Like you can see, I have a performance trigger and I get a dead trigger pull every time. So this could be helpful for that. It is also helpful for once you have mastered one shot accuracy, once you can shoot a 3-inch group at, say, a minimum of 10 yards, probably 15 is, I don't know, maybe 15 might be the base level of like that you really have a good trigger pull when you could shoot a 3-inch group at probably 15 yards is what I would guess the average like of good is. Then a drill that gets talked about a lot is doubles, doubles. I think it's a dumb waste of ammo in live fire because one shot return exists. And because why would you sit here and so with doubles, you're just kind of along for the ride if you're doing it correctly, because that's the point. You should be shooting so fast that you're just along for the ride where it's like dot, press, and I'm kind of purposely kind of fucking this up. Press, press, press. And it's like, okay, then you go to the target and it's like, oh, okay, there's a shot low and down here, but I was shooting too fast to call my shots. So I don't know when it happened and I don't really know how to fix it. Ah, it just makes me thirstier every time. One shot return is okay, I saw it go to the left. Okay, I saw that one go to the right. Okay, I saw that one go up. So it gives you some diagnostic value. But in dry fire, I think doubles with this have a place. I don't think it's something you should be doing a lot, but you're not going to get feedback from the target. You're going to have to do it at a speed that you are seeing what you need to see, or you're not going to get any value of it at all. You're not going to be able to go rely on the target to tell you what you didn't know. And I think the best shooting happens when you know what happens and you don't have to look at the target to tell. Where if it's a 10-round course of fire and there was a Charlie, you know where it was, you know what happened, and why you didn't make it up. You know, a called Charlie can be made up immediately on a hit factor of less than 5. And that might be the answer. I didn't make it up because shooters in my class were shooting 7.5 hit factor. And at 7.5 hit factor, that it just doesn't make sense to make up a Charlie. Um, but then if it's a Delta, yeah, it makes sense to make it up in a lot of cases. So with doubles with the dry fire mag and dry fire one, it doesn't cost you 50 cents every time you blindly pull the trigger. That's kind of my thing. It's like it's 50 cents to go. And it's like, okay, you don't the gun didn't tell you anything. Um, but in dry fire, like I said, you're gonna have to listen to the gun because there's no other option to get value out of it. One problem when I say like listen to the gun, people a lot of times inaccurate shots on like a hammered pair or a double or even controlled pairs is because you're looking at the dot and it's like, okay, let me see what the dot's going to do. It's like, well, then the dot doesn't have anywhere to stay. So you also have to use this to learn how to I'll do it here, stare at my nose and then pull the trigger twice. But then if I'm looking at the dot, I don't know if that showed up differently, but I could definitely see more movement. The gun was going this way because the dot didn't know where to stay. It was just going to the lowest hanging fruit of my fundamentals, which I guess is a left trigger pull because I'm right-handed. Sounds like I need to do more doubles. Um, So to kind of wrap up this video, dry fire mag is not a tool you should be messing around with if you do not possess the technical ability to fire the gun without moving the sight on one shot. Once you get to the first shot is always good, and now you're looking at a second shot, it has value. So it takes the recoil and the sound and the target out and lets you just focus on what am I doing to influence the gun. So then if you go do doubles at the range, you can go do 5 of them, go spend 10 rounds doing it instead of spending 200 rounds doing it and then diagnosing it and then having to spend 200 more rounds, do 200 reps and dry fire, and then go like see if it's what you're doing makes and it's not going to make a difference the first time. Like you're going to do 200 reps of this a day and then you're going to go to the range and it's not going to be any better on paper. Then you go back and it's 1% better and then it's 3% better. And it's like, okay, it starts to kind of build up where then you start to say, okay, it's making sense. But then, like I said, I go back to that I don't really get hung up on doubles because I don't pull the trigger twice without seeing the dot. And it's another subject for a different video. Like a full size competition appropriate pistol with a large window dot, like this Defender XL, and you shouldn't be losing the dot. That's probably your first problem in competition shooting is that if you're losing the dot, if the dot's leaving the window while you're shooting, you have something else to work on. That's probably uh, a better use of your time than doubles because I don't know. I hate to beat down doubles. Like a one shot return, great drill. It's just a double without the second shot where you're actually seeing what the dot's doing. And so, yeah, that's a lot of words. It's 12 minutes of me talking about dry fire mags. If you have any questions, be sure to ask.